Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Wednesday, the 8th of January. All right, the US-Iran issues still sort of covering the major headlines with various events. Now it's hard to sort of work out exactly when this starts and finishes and where the momentum comes from. So just be careful trading around this whilst this event is still pretty fresh. One good thing out of yesterday was the Canadian IB PMI numbers. Exceptionally weak, and we saw dollar CAD scream to the top side. Now, this is a really good thing, right? And what it does is it tells me that the fundamentals, okay, the macroeconomic fundamentals are in play. Now, dollar CAD was going down on all time frames. This actually, I had a few traders asking me, you had it down as a sell. Yeah, it's a sell as a technical setup, but that technical setup also provides the opportunity for a pop to the top side, which I mentioned yesterday in the FX Market Insight. If we get weak numbers, Canadian numbers, we will see it pop to 130. Now, it's gone up to 130.30. Funnily enough, stopped right there on the second resistance line. So that move has now been factored into the market. The overall trend, daily and weekly charts is still down. So what we've seen there is a really good clean out on dollar CAD. And as I said, this shows us that the fundamentals are really in play. Now, this US-Iran issue has been sort of set up to say, well, it's the answer for a few of these moves. The Aussie, it's broken down through support. I think you're going to start to see considerable weakness. Excuse me. As the Aussie numbers come out over the next month or two, these national bushfires are going to cause havoc with the economic numbers. I think this is sort of like a bit of a black swan event for the Aussie economy. Now, Euro pretty much trading sideways, as is sterling. Kiwi's got a little bit of a drift on it with no Kiwi data this week. It's going to follow the Aussie as I would expect. And dollar yen, the safe haven trade here, you can tell that there's very little interest or follow through on that US-Iran issue. Okay, it's not really moving much at all. And obviously dollar CAD popped on the very weak Canadian data. So what does that do for us? Now, coming back to the MyFX Trading Hub, I've changed the strength to the rating. So you can actually sort of start to see technically, okay, the setup for the currency pair, what is actually going on. Now, the dollar index to me is pretty neutral. Dollar yen, it's a weak sell only. Dollar CAD and dollar Swiss, still at this point hanging in there, daily and weekly charts as a break lower. So I'm still keeping a close eye on those. The rest of the currencies, they're all pretty fickle moves, right? That's around the overall geopolitical situation that we're in. Now, so what does it do for us today? Now, let's focus on what's happening. Now, momentum at the moment is down on the Aussie in particular. As I said, any weak data here in the Aussie, and I think the market will jump on it very quickly. But we do have more important numbers pretty much starting tomorrow. And that's starting from here down, the Chinese CPI, Eurozone employment. We've got a few, Clarita and Williams speaking out of the Fed. And then you've got Polos speaking in Canada there as well. So you want to get these things here. These, it is mainly tomorrow. The central banks or bankers speaking, you can see a little bit of volatility around these events. The really big impacting clear momentum opportunities are still coming up with the Canadian and US employment numbers. Now, just having a look here, I don't know if you've noticed, we've updated the the analyst weekly forecast. You'll start to see here where the Aussie had been highlighted for a move lower down through that trend line. Pretty much what you're looking for generally is a catalyst, right, for the move, and that usually comes from the fundamentals. Now, these geopolitical events like the US-Iran issue, which creates a bit of a risk-on, risk-off situation, that drags the Aussie into it. And that, to me, was probably enough to sort of push it over the edge, a breakdown through that trend line, and you can see exactly where it is now. So don't forget to take a look at those, the weekly forecast. They are there for you to sort of give you a bit of an idea or a heads up as to exactly what we think is going to happen. Now, it's hard to preempt the data, but what we can do is preempt the technical side of things, and that's what we're doing there. All right, guys, so really still nothing really strong sentiment-wise as far as trading goes. There's a few fickle moves yesterday. As I said, the big data is still to come, so hang in there. All right, guys, cheerio.